Hey. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the 199. Can we get a 199 chant? 199, 199, 199. Who's excited for MEGACON 2025? Let's go. We got a hell of a panel today for you guys. The first guest may be the most popular Star Wars YouTuber who has just as many subscribers on YouTube as the Star Wars account. We have Star Wars Theory. Our next guest is very shy, so we're gonna have to get a very kind round of applause for, he doesn't make any rage bait videos, hardly ever, definitely not 3 times a day. We have Mr. Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost. What a throw. You love to see it. Our favorite movie critic from across the pond made his way the whole way here just to see you guys. We have Critical Drinker. Let's freaking go. One of the men partially responsible for putting this entire thing together, who runs one of the biggest, most important independent comic book companies right now in the world. We have young Rippa Eric July. Let's go! And last but not least, standing in the red corner at 6'2", 365 pounds. His parents may or may not be cousins, brothers or sisters. We have Jeremy D-Day Cobra from Geeks and Gamers. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to these guys. Thank you.
What's up, MEGACON? A full house once again. Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. We appreciate all of you. Really excited. And thank you to the whole panel, for everybody for showing up. It's going to be a great panel. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to take some questions here. So we're going to yap like we do on live streams for a few minutes, and then we're going to take some questions. So I'm going to turn it over to my buddy, Eric July. Hi, Eric.
Yo. How y'all doing? Y'all good? All I want to say is thank y'all for coming out. I know our booth was kind of madness last year, but big shout out to MEGACON. We got a way bigger booth, and we're able to handle those lines. So be sure to come holler at us after all this, man. It's good to see all the familiar faces out there. So,
thanks, man. All right, how's it going? I don't even really know how I ended up here. I just had too many drinks last night and I woke up in Orlando, man. It is an absolute pleasure to be here, though. It's a pleasure to see so many people that have come out to see us. Like, why are you here? What do you think you're gonna get out of this? We're just gonna talk bullshit for the next, hour. But anyway, thank you for being here, and I'm gonna turn it over to my buddy, Ryan.
Give him a 199 chant. He loves the 199 chant. He loves it.
All right, thank you. That's the panel. Goodbye, everybody. No, I guess I'm going to be the 4th person to say, hey, how's everybody doing? This is always so awesome. When we go to MEGACON, we say, hey, we're going to need a big room. And they say, really? For a bunch of people talking about stupid stuff online? We're like, yeah, we're going to need a big room. And you guys filled it up, so yes, let's go! And I will hand it off to Star Wars Theory.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? It's different when there's a live audience, eh? It's like, it's not just numbers.
Yeah. That's how this works, yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. We're excited to chat with you all today and answer some questions and see where the panel goes. So you guys made it all possible. Thank you.
Ooh, it's getting dramatic now. The lights are going down.
They got the mood lighting for us. They must have heard about Jeremy's proclivities.
No, but it is a very interesting time right now with the culture shifting as much as it is. There's a lot going on. And obviously, this is all built around entertainment for us and video games, movies, television, and things like that. And it does feel to me, and I think that's what we're going to talk about today, is that the culture is shifting and how that's going to affect the entertainment and how we as fans feel about that. And obviously, you guys know I'm very much about individuality. Like what you like, don't like it, pay for it if you don't want. If you want it, don't. That's fine. But this is going to be a very crucial year. Now, I don't know if we're going to see the direct result of the culture shift this year in the entertainment. It may take a few years for it to finally start to feel like we're seeing that, but we all can feel that that's going on. And I think that's a good thing. And we've all been following this for over a decade. We've seen a lot of our entertainment properties. I'm sure every single person in this room has had some piece of their childhood affected by the Hollywood nonsense over the years. And that's what's brought us all together in this room. That's what's brought us all to this point. And now it's a very crucial time. And that's what we want to focus on today. And obviously with RIPA, with what you've done with Ripaverse, that's been a huge piece to the puzzle in our little corner of the internet. How do you feel about everything and how it's affecting the future of entertainment?
Look, there are a lot of creative people that are in our space. So I know for a while there, a lot of us were just complaining. You guys that follow my YouTube channel, I'd been complaining for, well over a decade, just griping about what was happening in comics and things like that before I decided to do my own thing because I just realized, look, like it's not going to make an adjustment. The corporate kind of setup really doesn't allow for a massive change like that. And even if we do see a change, to Jeremy's point, it's going to take years for that because they're like these big mammoths. So I just got out there to create. And there's a lot of folks that are in our space, which I'm always trying to encourage. I had the opportunity to work with some of them as well to, create if you can. Because, look, it's not for everybody. I know my man Ryan he said it before. He's told me personally, like, I can't do any of that shit, right? So, but you need a little bit of everything. You need people calling it out because folks like him, our good friend Gary, who couldn't be here as well, like they have a knack for just really identifying it. And it's hard to explain, but you get what it is that I'm saying, where you hear a guy express exactly what, even if you can't kind of form the thought, you hear him and he's like, that's exactly how I feel about everything. And those people are very, very important to what we do. But we also need those creators. So there's guys out there that are doing independent media. It's not necessarily just trying to be the anti to what's going on out there. Sometimes it's just making normal stuff, kind of like what we do at the Riververse. I know a lot of people anticipated that we were just going to be like the quote-unquote right-wing version of what was happening, and then they got mad at me because it's just, we're just trying to have fun here and just entertain, right? And I think that's kind of going to be the way of the future. And all of you guys that are even in this audience, you might not get another time, like in modern history, to be able to create and at least get eyes on it, because now everybody sees that something's wrong, so they can identify like independent projects, and they're more willing to like give it the time of day. We're seeing that a lot right now, especially in gaming. Like independent games are just exploding right now because people, they'll at least look at it. So if you're an entertainer out there, or you're a writer, whatever you are, I think now more than ever, get with some people and try to make something come into fruition. And my buddy right here, I don't know, a lot of you guys know, he's a creator as well. I know we think of him like, oh, he's this big critic, but he's a very creative guy as well. So I love to see guys out there doing great things.
Thank you, man. Okay. Yeah. Man, how do I follow that one up? No, I just want to echo what Eric has said. The fact that we've attracted the following that we have, that we've had the success that we've had, it's not down to us being particularly good at what we do, although in Eric's case it absolutely is when it comes to creating, but it's more about you guys. Because I guess, hitting a point that you guys all agree with. And not just you in this room, but everyone out there who's supported us. And that is what's made this cultural change that's now starting to take effect. You know, and this is a victory that belongs to everyone, and common sense, and people who just want to have good entertainment again. And that's what we've always been fighting for. Like, all these years, through all the crap that we've had to put up with, that's all we wanted ultimately, and that's hopefully what we're going to get back to now. And it's a great time to be in this space now, because the opportunities now are boundless, you know. And I think that's down to people like you. So thank you.
Well said.
Yeah. That drinker's like, how do I get a cheap pop? Everyone clap for yourself.
Ryan, it's great to be here in Orlando, Florida. Woo!
You guys are the real heroes.
That's right. But obviously what these guys are saying is true. Like, Drinker could make the best videos in the world, and it wouldn't really matter if no one agreed with what he was saying. And I think for those of us who have been on the journey for a while, whether you first started watching 10 years ago, whether you're one of the people that was watching Gary when he was live streaming and didn't even know people were in the chat watching, he was just recording because he's just that tech savvy.
I'm still not convinced he does know that people are watching.
And as a quick aside, you know, Gary really wanted to be here, obviously, and it sucks. Family tragedy, death in the family. Can't always time when those unfortunate things are going to happen, but I know he really appreciates every single one of you guys that have come here and that have sent well wishes to the family. You know, they really appreciate it. So shout out to Gary.
Yeah, on that note, you know, because we like to meme and stuff like that, but on a serious note, I'm gonna do this for Gary really quick. About you, buddy. We're thinking about you. We all know Gary loves Bon Jovi. But go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, ultimately, with everything that's happened within the past couple of years, God damn, it feels good to be winning, doesn't it?
Woo! Yeah.
But with all that being said, it's certainly not over. You're seeing these people that are holding on to this power that they've had over the entertainment industry, whether it's the mainstream critics, whether it's Access Media, whatever it might be. That's slipping through their fingers. They can feel it. And when that happens, the attacks get more often. They get more desperate. They get more ridiculous. And God, we're just happy to be here in front of all you guys and know that regardless of whoever came after us, whoever tried to cancel this person, whoever didn't like my Batman review, all of those guys are losing and they can't stand it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So I just want to make a little quick point here. So who likes George Lucas Star Wars? Okay. And who likes Disney Star Wars? Okay.
I saw one. No.
Get him! So the point I want to make is, why did that happen? What happened there that we went from this beloved franchise to something that nobody really connects with anymore? And the graph shows. And I think it's because of corporate Hollywood. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to people like us, people like you, who can really make a change just by voicing their opinions and not being afraid to go against the narrative. And making your own kind of media that you want, just like Eric is doing, just like the stuff we're doing out here. And at the end of the day, I truly believe... You guys ever seen the movie A Bug's Life? So you remember when Chopper was doing the whole acorn thing, chestnut thing, when he was throwing one ant, two ants, and then he just lets the whole thing go? All of us together are what can make change for the future. So if we all band together against all of this bullshit that's going on today, we can go back to getting some entertainment that we love and our kids love. So, to the people, man, you guys can make the change.
As long as we keep Dave Filoni away from Star Wars, yes. I agree.
Now, I know...
Let's save the dogs. All right, we are taking a stand here. Save the poor pupper in Dave Filoni's basement, okay?
I know here in about 10 minutes we're going to take questions, I believe. I'm not sure if we're going to pass the mic around or if we're going to line people up here. I'm not sure, but in about 10 minutes we're going to take questions. But yes, on that point, I mean, there was some I mean, I found myself looking at a few trailers that were playing just now when I was standing back there, and while there's some complete shit coming out this year, there's actually some pretty good stuff as well. And
It was really nice for them to play all these things that are going to be content gold mines for us before the panel. Yeah.
Where was the Snow White trailer? That's what I want
I'm waiting for the Acolyte season 2. What would happen to that?
to know. Renew the Acolyte.
Yeah, I
Do
heard
it,
that.
you cowards.
There's many of us.
But I was looking at that and I saw like, okay, there's a couple of trailers out there. I mean, yes sir, I want boos or cheers. Are you looking forward to Superman?
When you said booze there, I just I went down a different path.
Fantastic Four.
Wow. All right. Jurassic World Rebirth. Wow.
Who the hell's excited for that?
I got one.
What about Captain America Brave New World?
All right, you want a cheap pop? The next episode of Friday Night Tights. There we go. So, Gary may not be there, so Ryan has to read ads again, so you'll actually understand them. So,
Yeah, being congratulated by an inbred person from Alabama for being able to read a page because the 52-year-old boomer who usually runs it can't. I tell you, I've never felt better about myself.
we did have a pretty good episode, though. I don't know how many of you guys watched it, but we had Az, he returned from the dead. Hail to the Silverback, who again is on his redemption tour right now after his famous Starfield rant. You spent
Hashtag Az was right.
Hashtag Az was right. And that's been a big talking point over the last year or two, as far as just, we all have kind of been caught up in our different controversies or whatever, and just
Never.
Hail Zack Snyder, wherever you're at. Not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers, but
Also not affiliated with anything important right now.
yeah, I heard that. But you're seeing Az kind of get that, and Az said it right yesterday on Friday Night Tights, but I mean, we all knew he was right from the beginning. That was never a question, but I've never, and correct me if I'm wrong, everybody on this panel, but I've never seen anyone in our little world catch that much hell for anything. I mean, that was the most viral, even Ryan's complete and total disrespect of marginalized groups, we'll just say, has never, ever gotten that much.
I think Az was breaking new ground in the gaming sphere, because we talk about movies, we talk about TV shows and stuff, but like this was a whole new level, and they were just not ready for him. And as it turns out, he was 100% right, and he's been proven right.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see all these companies absolutely fail in the wake of this. So yeah, good on them.
Yeah, Az was always right, man. But no, we talk about him in our show. Shout out everybody watching Ripping the Silverback on Wednesdays, man. But yeah, I think you bring up a great point, because a lot of people got upset with it because it was in the gaming sphere, and you see all these like sock accounts or whatever, and they're nagging at him and all angry, and I think a lot of those likes are botted and fake. But yeah, it's crazy that everything's come full circle. You have all these like creators. We see Asmongold, like he's giving everybody props, like, oh, now we want to see these guys suffer. So we're in this weird spot, right? Because we know culture obviously has shifted, but I don't know if like the corporate like media is gonna adjust at all. I don't really care if they do, to be completely honest. But
They're busy going extinct right now, which is great.
Right, so they're gonna double.
They just lost all their government funding, so.
That's interesting. Very true. Shout out Doge. But I don't know if they're going to make an adjustment. So I said this, especially after this recent, not to get too political, but after this recent election, that was kind of a mandate. It showed that everything is changing. But it might get worse, and I think everybody needs to anticipate that before it gets a lot better, because much like what happened in 2016, they don't know how to act, right? So they get angry, they get irate, and then they get influenced to really just like start writing this bullcrap into their media. So while the culture is shifting, and I think everybody should be excited about that, it doesn't mean that the properties themselves are going to make any adjustment. if anything, it's going to only embolden them because now they feel like they have to make a stand. Like, so you're seeing a lot of stuff that comes out as well because of that, but also with a game and even with some of these movies, like they take a long time to, so even if they change today, like you're not gonna see any of that stuff for 5 years or whatever if there's adjustment. So y'all need to prepare for basically the next at least half decade for it to get maybe even worse than what it was like when it peaked like 2015, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. We talked about it yesterday on Friday Night Heist, but them introducing Luke Skywalker to Galaxy's Edge, nobody cares. It's 6 years after the Star Wars land opens, and you finally give us Luke Skywalker, and no one is even interested in it anymore. And I mean, I said yesterday, we were at Universal Studios this past week. We're getting ready to go ride the Velocicoaster, and they're playing John Williams' theme. And that's bringing me into a universe that I'm not even connected to anymore, but it still brings back that nostalgia. Star Wars Land doesn't do that, at least when I went there a few years ago. I haven't been in the last couple of years. Theory, have you been to Star Wars Land? Or Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah, it's not really Star Wars land.
Yeah, it's like Iraq.
If they really wanted to make money, they would have made it, different quadrants of the prequels and originals and stuff like that. Like imagine going to Hoth and you go in there and it's freaking cold and snowing and you get hot cocoa and all this. Yeah. I mean, they're so out of touch to just push their own shit. Yeah. That I think we're really all tired of it.
Yeah. The problem with nostalgia is it only works when you're harkening back to something people actually like, and we don't like the sequel trilogy, sadly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can only work so often, right?
Snatch that he was so angry.
Right.
Can we get more mics out here? Come on.
Yeah. It can only work so often because you might have a show that's kind of below average, but you might have a bunch of cameos, and it gets people to pop. Oh, first time I've seen this character. Wow, first time I've seen that character. But guess what? When you bring them back, say for Book of Boba Fett, when you bring them back again, when you bring another character back, it gets lame because these people are relying. It's Disney Star Wars specifically, and a lot of you guys know I'm not a big fan of old Dave Filoni, but like one of the problems is it's subpar writing that is supposed to jangle keys at you to get you to feel a certain way about these characters. Not because of what they're writing now, but because of what you felt at some point in time. And that needs to be called out because it's poor writing. It's not good. And yeah, there you go. And you know what? We give a lot of shit to the Acolyte, and rightfully so. You know what was the worst performing Disney Star Wars show before that? Ahsoka, right? And so it's a problem at Lucasfilm. It's a problem with all these properties, and we are going to see the activists as they start to lose power, as these things continue to fail, as they fear for their jobs. They feel this might be the only chance we have to get something in there anymore. Who knows what could happen down the line with Marvel, with Star Wars, everything. So even though it feels so great and it feels like we do have a victory, it is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all. And to your point, I mean, I personally think that everybody has their path to get to where a lot of us have ended up. I was excited to see Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. I was excited about it. And I felt literally nothing when I heard they're bringing Luke. I felt nothing when I see that, they're bringing Luke to Galaxy's Edge. And we obviously have a theme park channel. Shout out to Park Hoppin'. But I feel nothing, and I just don't care because they've proven time and time again. But everybody has everybody has their line, and some people's line was the Rise of Skywalker. Some people's line was the Last Jedi. Some people like Ryan and others gave up on the Force Awakens. But it's a path to get there. All right, I think we're going to take questions here. How are we doing that? I don't know.
There's a microphone right here in the center. You guys can
run. Get to it.
Fight. No, don't.
First, we're only taking one question.
First come, first serve.
Now, as soon as everybody lines up, minimum $20 super chats no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I will do a shot for every $50.
The Theory Sabers booth is down there. You know what to do if you want some real sabers.
Yeah, so there's quite a few people, so ask away. How you doing, sir?
Hello, good. No question, just a comment, just to thank you guys for everything that you do. I appreciate it. In specific to me, 6 years ago, I did not have a single YouTube channel. I think I'm subscribed to 50 of them. You guys were the gateway drug into all of that.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciate that. You know, it's like when I want to unwind, I can think about what do I want to do? Do I want to watch a movie? Do I want to watch a TV show? Do I want to read something? Or do I want to watch you guys on YouTube? And I always know that that's the highest chance of entertainment that I'm going to get.
The new media, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just appreciate
glad you
it.
enjoy
Thank
it.
you.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, we all just want to thank you for speaking truth. And I mean, all of us feel like we're lied to consistently by legacy media in every direction on everything. So the fact that you were willing to stand up above the crowd and say, this is the truth of how I feel about the properties that we love and that have inspired us for generations, thank you for being willing to do that.
It was a pleasure. There's nothing more enjoyable than just absolutely venting your rage and having like a million people agree
Exactly.
with you. It's awesome.
And specifically to that point, I think all of us in the room have heard your opinions over the years of content. We'd love to hear just one sentence of the day before each of you picked up the microphone for the first time and said, I gotta speak this truth that's on my heart. What was that catalyst moment for you individually that said, I'm gonna say something online that I care about?
For me, I lost my job, and
That would do it.
no, but I
Somebody found that really fucking funny.
Poverty.
no, it simply came down to I stopped fearing being called a racist or a sexist. That's really it, because that was weaponized to intimidate you to not call things out. And that was a worry. Back then, I was worried about that. Now I take it as a badge of honor because it just means I'm calling the bullshit out. But I had to get over that fear of like, I don't want to be labeled that. I don't want people to think of me as that. And I had to get over that in order to speak as truthfully as I could about everything going on.
It's an empty slander, yeah.
I mean, I've been on YouTube for too long, so it's hard for me to answer the question because I was on YouTube when I was 16. So for me, I just really never gave a shit what other people had to feel about what I was going to say. They were going to like it. They were not going to like it. So it was like, whatever for me. But at least with the comic book stuff, for you guys that read comics, that was the mid-2010. So that's like 2014, like when the whole all new, all different Marvel stuff was coming out. And then everybody was like, for a while there, you had Access Media pretending like everything was kosher. And I was like, this is terrible. Like, what the hell is this? So I obviously started to speak about it back then, but I was ahead of the game. I was already a YouTuber for like 10 years by the end, so.
Amen.
So I woke up in a pool of someone else's blood.
The legend begins.
And I saw the way that things were going. We'd had like Ghostbusters 2016, we'd had The Last Jedi, we'd had Captain Marvel. And I could see the way things were going in entertainment, and I just thought, fuck it. I'm just gonna say what I feel like, because that's the best way to be. Yeah. And I've never looked back.
Amen.
Yeah, for me, I guess it was a little different. I mean, I would talk about Star Wars or Marvel or DC or whatever with anybody who I could get to listen long enough and argue with for long enough, basically my entire life. But really, I made the mistake of going to a fan meetup. And this was back when the fan meetup in summer of 2019. By the way, Kevin Feige had just announced that Marvel is making a Blade movie. Maybe we'll see that sometime. But in the summer of 2019, I went to a fan meetup that Jeremy and Gary had, and instead of renting out bars at Universal Studios that have 700 people signed up to go like tonight, it was about 5-6 people meet in the back of some little bar in San Diego. It was like 5-10 people, and I was one of them, and I was groomed by Jeremy and Gary, and you know, Jeremy,
He was an innocent young man before then.
The force was with him.
Jeremy has not been right about many things in his life, but he did think I'd be good at YouTube, so there you go.
I'm just waiting for Disney to send me out to one of the premieres. I think it's my channel is kind of strange. I feel like because I started out always loving Star Wars, just like all of us, and I made a video and it kind of caught fire, and I just kept going from there with the belief that Lucasfilm was really George Lucas centered, but they weren't. And so over time, I started to sort of wake up, and the rose-tinted glasses. What is that? Is that Yoda? I knew they were here. Yeah, no, and over time it just started to change, and I started to see, all the lies and the fact that they didn't even know what they were doing, and there really wasn't any sort of story that they had planned out at all, and it just became this sort of ideology that they were pushing instead of George Lucas Star Wars, which is what I hoped. So it really started out, hoping to talk about Star Wars, and now it's trying to save Star Wars. So it's changed, but I think we're doing okay. What do you think?
Right.
Hey?
Gentlemen, thank you for your work. God bless you. We
Thank
love
you so much. Thank you so much.
We'll try to be quicker about the next couple questions. Our bad.
All right. Shadow Dragon, the one who runs the MegaCon Discord.
Yes. Yep.
Now the largest convention in North America.
There we go. Doing a great job, too. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Loving MegaCon.
Yep. I got a short question for each of you. Jeremy, when are we getting that Tabletop Dragon mascot plush? Ripa, what was your inspiration for your comics? Drinker, have you found a favorite drink in Orlando? Ryan, will you go out with Dave Filoni to FurryCon?
Hey, if it means he stayed the hell away from Star Wars in the future, I would take one for the team.
Possibly several.
Yeah, keep yelling at me. Keep yelling at me. That's all you got to do, and I'll get it.
And Theory, what do you think of the idea of a Dragon Jedi Grandmaster?
Just to be quick, for me, I've been a comic guy my entire life, but really the thing that kicked the kind of jolt in me was really the audience. Everybody saw something wrong with comics, and I figured, you know what, I saved a bunch of money, let's give it a shot. Didn't think it was gonna blow up like it did, but just wanted to give it a shot. So I would say the actual audience and people that I would nerd out with was hands down the biggest influence I had.
Yeah, favorite drink in Orlando? I'll take whatever I can get, man. I'm not particular. Any recommendations?
The next one. I'll just say that one for you. The next one, right? All right, Theory, did you get that one? Did you get your answer?
Well, I mean, there's like a million different species and a billion different species in Star Wars. I think, an actual dragon that can fly with a lightsaber?
Yes.
And breathe fire?
Yes.
That'd be great, as long as he's not, manipulating the thread of the Force or whatever it is. So. I think, after that, anything's possible, really.
Yeah. I'd like to say, wish Gary were here. May the Lord be with him and his family. And
Thank you.
And if you all can, join the MegaCon Discord. The only thing we ask is no politics, like it's the 2000s.
So I'm not allowed? And hey, we only have about 12 minutes, 13 minutes left. So we won't answer as many. So just, we're going to try to speed up our answers.
Why don't they give us more time for these?
It was nice of Jeremy to waste 15 seconds by saying we're not going to talk as much. So.
It was nice of you to waste 15 more to say, go ahead.
Stop wasting time, goddammit!
Here, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
I'll be quick. Good to see you guys for my first time here. Gary's not here, so it's more for you three guys. But how and why would we be able to get Mahler pressured enough to actually show his face at one of these events? and has there been actual serious talks, like off camera, about like pulling him out?
I keep trying to apply subtle pressure to Mahler.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, hey, I'm going to MegaCon. It's really fun. You get to meet lots of people. It's nice sunny weather. So, I don't know. I think he might do it eventually. It's just, some people are more willing to put themselves out there and do this stuff than others. As it turns out, we're egomaniacal assholes, so yeah, we're happy to do it. Maybe Mahler not so much, but we'll get him there eventually.
I imagine seeing his like floating avatar on a screen or something behind you.
I think, we'll see. It's not for everybody, but I think it'll happen one of these days.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, that was it. Ryan, your forehead's even bigger in person. So
Thank you. It's what they say.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Question for Ripa, and I was wondering y'all take requests for your channel.
For which one? Like the Ripaverse?
Well, let me start with the Ripa. When you advertise Ripaverse, you're saying that anime has been dominating the comic industry until you came on board. How confident are you to revive American comics to be as good as anime?
That ain't gonna be done by just me. That's almost impossible. But No, I mean, they dominate the West. Anime and manga dominates the West, and for it to be like sort of a return to form, I actually just did a video talking about this. It's going to take a lot of creators getting out there, being very creative, not just in what they put out as far as their content, but also in their like distribution and economic model. I think that's what screwed everything more than just the bad content. So it's going to take a lot of creativity there for there to be an adjustment. Most importantly, there needs to be some sort of relationship between their like animated stuff as well as their books. That's what the anime and manga does really well. That's the way the manga sells the anime and the anime sells the manga. Unfortunately, with like mainstream animation or even a live action, you'll go see a character and then read that character. It's two completely different fucking characters. So, yeah.
Like, you know what I want to see again? You remember how Disney used to be good with their hand-drawn animation? I want to see that again. We already have Hayao Miyazaki. There's so much to see, but Don Bluth is the only living one with old hand-drawn animation, and I would just like to see that kind of art style revive. And I don't know if you want to talk about it sometime.
Yeah, the 2D, obviously all of our animations have been, hand-drawn like 2D stuff. And yeah, it's fun. It takes a lot of time though, and it's very, very expensive. But I'm not sure why the mainstream, as far as the American animation, like, I don't know why they went in this odd direction, this Cal Arts kind of weird approach, which is odd because a lot of the anime, they were all influenced by old cartoonists like the Disneys and everything of the world.
What I'm saying is things are looking up in our favor. All our money's coming back to us. Maybe this is an opportunity to try and invest this old dying art. Don Bluth hasn't made a movie since Titan AE. He came to his hometown, which is my hometown, El Paso, and he talked about Dragon's Lair, the movie, and he's struggling trying to get people to invest in it. And Netflix wants to make it a live action with Ryan Reynolds starring as Dirk the Daring. Yep. I want to see it his own talent. So maybe with some shout, he can get supporters to help fund those and future projects like Space Ace and many more.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
Thank you, Johnny.
I appreciate it, Johnny.
Shout out,
Have a good one, buddy.
Appreciate it, Johnny.
What's up, guys? Much love and respect to every one of you. I got a question. So I come from the music side of things. I'm a drummer in several different bands. I come from straight edge hardcore, and it's dominated completely by left-wing politics. But Ripa, I guess it's for you and Jeremy. Ripa, as you know, Backwards, you've got a couple other bands like Old Typo Negative, Agnostic Front that didn't follow that narrative. Are you guys ever planning on covering music that is outside of the woke spectrum on Geeks and Gamers or anything like that?
If I knew any like decent musicians, I have this. There's this guy named Dan. He thinks he's a good singer. I mean, right now, me and Dan actually want to work out like the retro gaming side of things. But me and Dan have had discussions about stuff like that. So, like I told you earlier, because we were talking about the wrestling stuff too. If there's a demand for stuff, I mean, that's why Geeks and Gamers has so many different channels. So, if there's something out there, and I think we could, build an audience out of it and bring a good discussion, I'm all for it. So, if people want it, yell at me in the chat and everything like that, and I'll take all that under consideration for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
What's up, guys? How's it going? So this question is directly directed towards Eric July. What inspiration would you offer for future comic book writers such as myself to really, I've already started writing, but what inspiration would you offer to those who just wanted to kind of get into that space of writing their own indie comics? And then on a broader question to you guys, doing the YouTube channels, the content that you do, what inspiration would you have for those people who would want to probably enter the same lanes as your creative spaces?
Well, as far as the comics, I always encourage people to learn your characters, because a lot of people work backwards, and then look, it works for them if they want to, where they are writing the stories and they're creating characters along the way. For me, it's the complete opposite. Like, I have this universe Bible, for example. The first character I created was Isom, and I created his family members, and I built that out, and it made it easier for me to tell the story.
That's what I'm doing. Wow.
That's what you should do.
I got a whole spreadsheet.
That's exactly that. Before you even get to scripting, I would encourage you to do that, because it makes it easier. It's like, how can you convince the audience to know the character if you don't know them yourself? So most definitely, that's the move.
And then the second part of your question, you were asking what?
On a broader scale, for those who would want to into you guys' lane of creative space, what inspirations would you have for them?
Well, I mean, in terms of you've got to be authentic at this point in time. No matter what you're talking about, it has to be authentic, and you've got to be passionate. That's right now. People are seeing through it. So everybody that's succeeding It's based on authenticity. So find something that you're passionate about and talk about it. Don't get caught up on views. Just talk about what you're interested in. It may take some time, but eventually, if you're connecting with people, it will work.
Yeah, people can handle disagreements. People can handle takes they don't agree with. What they can't handle is they think they're being lied to. Yeah. And especially as the tide turns, there's going to be people out there that are maybe inauthentic and do feel the wind's going this way, so let me start to say this or whatever. And that's up to everybody to judge how authentic you think that is, right?
Yeah.
Because that is, as Robert Meyer Burnett said, authenticity is the currency of the future.
That's right. So we are at 5 minutes, so we're gonna. Hey, thank you so much.
Good question.
We got 5 minutes, and so we'll take as many as we can get to. How's it going, man?
How's it going? Ezekiel Tives. I'm a game developer, so I'll make this question short and quick. Seeing games like Halo Infinite and Concord having these overbloated budgets that always fail, gaming is not as expensive as we think it is. Have you guys ever thought about getting into that?
I asked Ripa, and he told me to go F myself because it was too expensive.
That sounds about right.
But it's definitely something I want to do. We did the one where we had a fan create a video game based on me, which is weird, but it was awesome, and we're making a follow-up to that. But I want to do something more like on the next level, but it's so much involved, and the only person up here that has the money is him, probably. So what do you think, Ripa?
I'd love to. Seriously, I would love to do like a Rippaverse game.
I think as well, like one thing we're learning with these huge, ridiculously budgeted games like the AAA stuff is that graphics are not the be-all and end-all anymore.
100%.
Like people will easily sacrifice graphical fidelity for a better story with better characters and better gameplay.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that absolutely opens the door for smaller creators.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. What's up?
Hey guys, what's up? Just wanted to know that I appreciate every single one of you. Jeremy, that's been out since the Last Jedi days. Made me feel like I wasn't alone. Ripa, you're an inspiration. I hope to be someone like you someday. Jordan, I'm looking for the inevitable collab between you and Ripper one day. Theory, I got a chosen one lightsaber from my brother, and he proposed to the same. He proposed to in the same place Anakin married Padme at. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to buy one there.
Hey.
Yeah. And Ryan, let me see if I can just.
Again, Apocalypse again for $5. Ryan, I hope you're enjoying Florida. I hope I can catch you around one day. I could use some help taking out the Naughty Dog bumper sticker off my car. If you want to take down the Naughty Dog bumper sticker, I will help you do that.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
That was going to go in a lot of different directions.
I was very worried.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Nice hat.
Yeah, heck yeah. So, big question for Eric. Given that one of the key pieces to manga's dominance has been the likes of Shonen Jump and things like that, is there any talk about using Ripazine or creating another magazine to allow indies to basically do a pilot chapter with you so that we can help some of these guys offset the printing costs and the cost of producing
I've never
those
thought
first
about
couple
that.
chapters?
Yeah, obviously we do a smaller version of that as a Ripazine, but I've never thought about maybe doing a Ripazine version of that. You put some on my mind there.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. Because manga's
MAGA hat gives you power, Ripa.
Manga throws everything at the wall, and having those magazines allow them to do that. America doesn't have that anymore.
Right.
So we need something to give people like, hey, you pay a bit of a cover charge to get in a magazine just so you get it into some level of recognition around it without having to drop thousands of dollars to print copies that they don't necessarily have.
Yeah, you put some on mine there. I'm gonna have to ponder on that. Seriously, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Big time.
Thank you. Yeah. I hate to say it, I got time for one more. So this is gonna have to be the last one. I'm so sorry.
We're gonna be at 2 p.m. We're all gonna be at the booth, so don't worry. You can come out and
come talk. And we're got the meetup tonight. It's free flowing, so you guys can come talk to us. So I'm so sorry. Last question.
Make sure to talk to me and Drinker before we have too many.
Which is about 5 minutes in.
Question for everyone. How shocked were you to find out that USA Idea paid like $8 million to Politico to promote Gamergate and basically attack all gamers and people like you, that basically our tax dollars was basically used to basically go after you guys, basically the government. Was going against you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't surprising, but it is very, very validating to hear it, you know, that it's out there, because for so many years we were told, like, you guys are just making stuff up, this isn't happening. So it was almost like validation. Not so much surprising. I'm surprised that we're finding out, but I'm not surprised that it was happening, but very validating. Yeah, for sure. So anybody else on that? Was the last question right there. So
Yeah, I think it's just, as Jeremy says, we kind of suspected stuff like this would have been happening, but the fact that it's actually come out is pretty impressive, actually. And it just goes to show, like, a lot of the narrative that they've tried to spin over the years has just been complete bullshit, and nobody really believes it. It's a fallacy.
Yeah.
Government-funded fallacy. So
I'd love to see what the last 25 years have looked like. None of it's shocking to me that's come out. I would love to see what's been happening for decades, though.
thank you guys. Say it quick, go.
Ryan, could you possibly do the Amanda Stenberg rap?
If
not,
we so bored, don't fuck with your discourse. We so bored, don't fuck with your discourse.
We have to end it there. We have to end it there. We have to end it there. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Rippaverse booth. And then Red Coconut Club at City Walk tonight is our meetup. Hail MEGACON. Thank you guys so much.